Welcome to my Edmonton Residential Real Estate Market Update for October 2020, Pandemic Month 7. How has COVID affected the real estate market? Is it really as bad as some people say? Or is it crazy hot like others say? Well, stay tuned and I'm going to give you my opinion on how I think COVID is affecting the real estate market so far, and how I think it will affect it in the future. In this Edmonton Residential Real Estate Market Update, we're talking about two segments, single family homes and the condo segment. The data I am taking is from the 15th to the 15th of each month. For each of these segments, I'm going to tell you about sales volume, median sold prices, sold to list ratio, and the median days on market. But before we get started, go ahead and click that subscribe button and that little bell so you don't miss out on videos I post weekly. I'm going to run through these numbers pretty quickly because I can't wait to share with you my opinion on how I think COVID has and will affect the Edmonton residential real estate market. So, first up, single family homes. Sales volume is outpacing last year's numbers from 661 sales in October 2019 to 821 sales in October 2020. However, compared to last month, we have seen fewer sales. From 908 sales in September 2020 to 821 sales in October 2020. The numbers are looking pretty flat month over month, from $380,750 in September 2020 to $380,000 in October 2020. This is a noticeable increase when we compare year over year, where we saw median sold prices at $372,500 in October 2019 and $380,000 in October 2020. Sold to list ratio, nothing really interesting happening there. It is pretty flat all around, from 97.7% in September 2020 to 97.5% in October 2020. And comparing that to October 2019 of 97%, we are slightly up. Median days on market had the biggest change. It was quite a jump. We went from 30 days in September 2020 to 48 days in October 2020. That 48 days is still up from October 2019 days, which was 44 days. Moving on to the condo segment, sales volume. Comparing it to last year and month over month, we are down. We saw 284 sales in September 2020, 303 sales in October 2019. Comparing both of those to this last month, where there are only 267 sales for October 2020. Median sold prices are also down across the board, from $230,000 in September 2020 and from $209,900 in October 2019 to this month, where the median sold price was $205,000. Just like last month, this seems a little bit odd and kind of drastic between the month over month numbers, so I dove deeper into splitting up the townhouses and the apartment style condos. Interesting enough, townhouses still seem to be the driving factor for these changes. The townhouse median sold price saw a month over month drop of $21,000. And apartment style condos actually saw an increase in the median sold price by $16,000, from $175,000 last month to $191,000 this month. The sold to list ratio is down month over month, which doesn't surprise me given what's happened with the townhouses. It went from 96.2% in September 2020 to 95.5% in October 2020. This is almost exactly the same as October 2019, where the sold to list ratio is 95.4%. Moving on to median days on market, we are seeing the same drastic increases to the median days on market as we saw with the single family homes. From 47 days on market in September 2020 to 56 days on market in October 2020, which is still higher than October 2019, where it was taking about 51 days on market. So the real question everybody's been waiting for an answer to: how has COVID affected the residential real estate market so far, and how is it going to affect it in the future? Well, as we can see by the numbers, COVID has definitely not created the market to crash, which is a good thing for all of us. I know some buyers think that might be a good thing for a crash because then we'd have lower prices. It's not good for anybody because it doesn't instill buyer confidence. So if the market crashes, how do you know if that's the bottom or if we're going to keep going to the bottom? You're not going to be sure, and you're going to be hesitant to buy also. So it's better to have a stable market. So over the last 7 months, we've really seen price stabilization with some increases, especially for single family homes. And for some of you, it might feel like a super hot market, and that's because there are pockets that are hot. Last month, there were 66 homes that sold above list price, with the highest sold to list ratio being 10% above list price. So 110% of list price. But on the flip side, for those of you that are feeling like COVID's affected the market negatively and it's kind of crap, well, there is some data that supports that. There was one home last month that sold for 68% of list price, and a handful of other homes that sold for 84% of list price, which is quite low from the median last month, which was 97.5% for single family homes. Same story with condos. Overall, they've remained flat. There's been no crazy changes in prices and no significant drops in volume. It may be a little bit down, but not significantly. In other markets, COVID has created quite strong sellers markets. And like I mentioned earlier, we do have pockets of that here as well. But we also have pockets of strong buyers market. At the end of the day, it all depends on what you're selling. What I can say and what I've been saying is that if you're selling your home, you still have to price your home competitively. And if you're in that popular price range of $350,000 to $500,000, if your home is kept up, well maintained and clean, you'll probably sell pretty quickly. So what I see COVID is actually affecting is possibly the days on market. With schools reopening and the second wave of COVID becoming more apparent, things are seeming to take longer to sell. And I wouldn't have said that just based on the month-over-month data, but the year-over-year data is showing the same thing. In addition, both segments, the single-family home and the condo segment, are showing pretty big increases to the median days on market. So what does that mean for you? Doesn't mean your home's not going to sell. It just means it may take a little longer. So what's the market look like in the future of residential real estate in Edmonton with COVID? Some people are predicting that the market's going to crash when all those deferred mortgages go into foreclosure and hit the market. But is that true? Are all deferred mortgages going to go to foreclosure? Maybe some people were just deferring to stockpile cash. There's no doubt that there are going to be more foreclosures, and we have a backlog of them currently. I've been hearing rumors of what the inventory levels are for the backlog of foreclosures, and in my opinion, our inventory levels are actually really low right now. So if we add the foreclosure backlog, we won't even be at the inventory levels for 2019. So if we apply supply and demand principles, and demand that we've been seeing stays relatively the same or even improves, I really don't see this crash happening. There's still a lot of factors that could affect it, but based on the information that I know today, that's my opinion. If you found this video to be helpful, please click that like button and share this video with your friends. I'll see you on my next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.